So we are taking a look at 5-2. 5-2 is going through and doing a bank reconciliation. So most of the time, people look at this and they're like, huh, that's what I get. Because it doesn't look like anything else we've done before. Now, a bank reconciliation is something that you should do every month. You have a savings account, do you have a debit card, do you have a checking account, those type of things? You should do a bank reconciliation. A bank reconciliation is going through and comparing what you say you have to what the bank has. Now, I've covered this in personal finance, so Brooke is going to know a little bit of this on there. Nick up top will remember this. We go through and do a bank reconciliation because you can make a mistake and a bank can make a mistake. And it's always very important that you do it monthly so you know exactly what is happening. Now, when we do a bank reconciliation, there are two sides to this. And you really need to slow down and just read the words, because if you read the words, it tells you what to do. I'll start with the left-hand side. It says balance on check stub. Now, yesterday, when we went through 5-1, we filled out a check stub, right? So right here it says balance on check stub. Right here is going to be the check stub number that you are using. And then here would be the value that you put in on that balance on next as unused check stub. Here is going to be where we would put bank charges. Now, types of bank charges that you're going to find is you could have a service fee, anything that the bank would take out of your account. And what's going to happen is a bank is automatically going to take it out of your account. They're not going to wait for you to write them a check. Would you agree? They just say, you have an account, this is your fee, we're deducting it from you. So they automatically take it out of the balance of your account, so you have to record it here. So you'd write a brief description here. Most of the time it's going to be a service fee. Then you put the amount. Now, typically you could have multiple lines if you had multiple bank charges that you'd put here. Add them together, and then the total bank charges go here. Now, my balance on my unused check stub is above. Here's my bank charges. Notice what it says right here. Deduct. So mathematically, what am I doing? Subtracting. So my balance on bank statement, subtract my bank charges, is going to give me my adjusted check stub balance. So I am just subtracting here on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we are going to start with the balance on our bank statement. So they will always give us a sample bank statement when we have to go through and do this, and you'll find that in the instructions, but we'll look at it a little bit. And you're going to go through and plug that in. The other thing we have to do is put the date on the top, and the date is always going to be the date that you prepare it on. And they will give you that in the directions. Here's what students tend to get wrong. It'll say that your bank statement is dated September 15th. You are going to prepare your bank statement on September 16th, though, the date that you get it. So it's always good to do it the exact day you get it. So this would be the amount. Now, it says outstanding deposits and outstanding checks. That just means they're amazing, right? Isn't that what outstanding means? Just like every student in here, you're outstanding. No? Clay likes. All right, thanks for smiling, Clay. So what students get confused with is this new terminology about outstanding checks and outstanding deposits. So here is my example. So we get a check here. I take the check, and I'm going to go to the bank today, and I'm going to deposit that so it goes into my account. Does that sound right? You've done that before? I get home, and my bank statement is in my mailbox. Is that deposit that I just put in the bank on that bank statement? No. So it's a deposit that I have done, but it's not printed on my bank statement. Outstanding means I have it recorded, but it hasn't cleared the bank yet. Now, if we do the same thing for outstanding checks, so today I have to go through and pay all my amazing accounting students for being in my class. I write you a check for $100. I said, oh gosh, thanks, I'm so glad. You make my life so much better. So I write out all these checks. Okay, right? So I write out those checks, but still when I get home, my bank statement is in the mailbox. Is each one of those checks that I've written in here on my bank statement? No. I wrote them out today and the bank statement's there. Now the other thing is, have you ever gotten a check for your birthday? Do you cash it right away, or sometimes does it sit on your counter or sit someplace and then you forget? Sometimes it sits there, right? So sometimes you can actually have a check wait to clear because the person hasn't cashed it right away. So it's not even ones that you wrote the same day that is going to be on your bank statement, but it could be you wrote them previously and it just hasn't cleared. So typically what I find for high school seniors is right now they're applying for colleges or they have to send in a check for the deposit for their housing. And the bank, or you write out the check and you mail it into your school and the school holds on to it for a while. They don't cash it right away. And you're sitting there waiting for the bank or the school to cash your check. So outstanding checks and outstanding deposits are ones that we know we have done, but it has not appeared yet on our bank statement. So are we going to add or subtract our deposits? What do you think? It actually tells you. Add, because it says add outstanding deposits. What are we going to do with our checks? Subtract, because it says deduct. That's why I'd like you, before you start filling anything in, just to look at the words. Now, we can see here we don't have very many lines for outstanding deposits. So I have my balance on my statement. I'm going to take the amount of an outstanding deposit. I'm going to add the two together, and it's going to give me, I'm going to put the total outstanding deposits here, and then it's going to give me a subtotal here, which is going to be these two numbers added together. Here is going to be where I list my outstanding checks, and I ask for the check number, like 77, and then the amount. I list all of them here, add them together for my outstanding checks, and I just subtract that from my subtotal, and it gets my adjusted bank balance. Now, this is where we like accounting, because accounting, you always know if your numbers equal. Because this number and this number need to equal. If they don't, you've made a mistake somewhere. That's the whole point. Your adjusted check stub balance and your adjusted bank balance should equal to show that everything is okay. Now, the other thing that we have to do that students forget about often is this bank charge right here. We subtracted it on our bank statement, but we also have to record it on our check stub because we have to deduct the amount that the bank took out. And then the other thing we have to do is we actually have to record that as a transaction because we can't have money leaving the business without actually going through and recording it to see how it's being affected. So we looked at it, so we're ready to try her now? Let's rock and roll. It's accounting, it's fun, it's happy. It has debits and credits. So, the directions for 5-2 says, forms are given below. Your instructor will guide you through the following examples. On July 29th of the current year, Deep Clean received a bank statement dated July 28th. Following information is obtained from the bank statement and from the records of the business. Oh, that sneeze went away right when I needed to sneeze. Sorry. Now, we have two dates. What is the date of the statement? The 28th. But we can't prepare it on the date that the statement was made, so what date are we going to put up here? 29th. So we'll do July 29th. That is one of the most common mistakes on the test, is putting the wrong date. Okay? Now, they give us all of these numbers. What we have to do is we have to prepare a bank statement reconciliation using July 29th of the current year as the date. Okay. So, I like to complete one side of the bank statement and then move to the other. So we'll go through and do the balance on check stub number. What is our check stub number? 106. And you can see that the amount that we have on that check stub was $1,575. Agreed? So found it right here in our directions. Now the next thing we have is, do we have any bank charges? We have a service charge, right? So we'll put in service charge, and that's $2. So I'll go ahead and put $2 in there. Now, I really hope you don't have to take your calculator out. I know. It's difficult. But I got 1,573. You did not? Because you have to subtract, not add. Anyone else concur with my number? Only Brooke? The rest of you are struggling? Do you agree with my number? Oh, okay. So, left-hand side done. Is that pretty easy? Left side usually is the easiest. The right side is where you have to think more. So our balance on our bank statement, I see 1,528. Our outstanding deposits, do we have any? July 28th, and you got to put it in as numbers. So I do 7/28, and that's going to be for 150. So our total amount of outstanding deposits is going to be 150. So then I'm going to take 1,528 plus 150. I got 1,678. Anyone agree? Yes? Stevie, do you agree? Thank you. Now, outstanding checks. How many outstanding checks do we have? 2. 103 for 70 and 105 for 35. I add the two together. I got 105. I did that without a calculator. It's my mad math skills today. So if I take $105 and subtract 1,678, I get 1,573, and I'm like, woo-woo, look, they equal. Right the roof. These two need to equal. If they don't equal, you make a sad face, and you're like, Mrs. Grassel, I need help. And I come and help you. But they equal, so we're happy. Happy, happy, happy. So that was instruction number 1, prepare a bank statement. Yay. Now instruction number 2, record the service charge on check stub number 106. Okay. Look, check stub number 106. We have a problem, though. The balance is not brought forward. What is our balance on check stub number 106? 1575. Right here, directions, check stub balance 1,575. Now, do I need to record the deposit on here? No, because the deposit was recorded on a previous bank check stub. We just have to go through and update our check stub balance. So now we have to put right here our other, and we're going to do a service charge for $2. And then I do 1,573. A couple things that I didn't say out loud, but I did up here, is I carried my balance down for the subtotal. There is no deposit on here. I wrote over here on the line, service charge $2. I have $2 here, and then I have 1,573. And then I say, that number sounds familiar. From up above, right? That's the whole point. We need our check stub balance here to equal where it says adjusted check stub balance. But now we're in a little bit of a conundrum because we had $2 that the bank took out that we didn't journalize. That means our accounting equation would not be in balance. So we need to journalize said transaction. Now, this is where I'm going to throw off your automatic rules that you know. Oh, I know. It's the one transaction that always throws everyone off. So we know that the bank just took $2 out, right? Okay. What account is being affected if the bank takes $2? Cash, right? What did they take? $2. Cash going up or down? Down. Now, in the past, I've always said the only way you're going to credit cash is by using what for a source document? C, right? C check, C cash, C credit. But we didn't write a check to the bank because the bank's just going to say, taking the money. So this one, what we're going to do is our source document is actually going to be an M. So we're going to have a memorandum that is going to tell us to record our service charge. So even though the source document is an M, we're still going to credit cash. Now, the other thing that goes with it is what are we going to journalize it to? So we already know our credit is going to be to cash. We'll put the date of the 29th. What do you think we would put it on? So it's $2. Is $2 a lot in the whole scheme of our business? Maybe, probably not. So we're actually going to throw it under miscellaneous expense. Now, if our business was really big and we had a lot of bank fees, we might have a bank fees expense. But right now, we'll just throw it under miscellaneous. Our source document is going to be M44, and we're going to do a general debit of 2 and a cash credit of 2. Why 44? It just says that in the directions. It's the 44th memorandum written for the business. So I didn't randomly pick the number. It doesn't relate to the date. It's just numerically ordered. All right, you ready to try that on your own? Give me more information on 106. We didn't write out the check, so the rest of the check stub stays completely blank. You're not trusting me, are you? Oh, I got a perfect. Whoop, whoop. I'm going to hit a save and continue and go ahead and check on your knowledge to see if you can do the on your own. Such an amazing name for the assignment, isn't it? On your own.